this just? Is there a good cause for the United States to go to war in Venezuela? The U.S. has seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. It's not a good sign, is it? Maybe it is a good sign. I don't know. But where is it? Where is it? Where's the story? Here it is. Bloomberg reporting, U.S. seizes oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. They intercepted a sanctioned oil tanker. Why did they take the oil tanker? Well, the most of the Venezuelan oil goes to China, usually through intermediaries, but that's not great. So they're sending oil to China, one of our geopolitical adversaries. That's not great in our own hemisphere. More reporting, U.S. has imposed sanctions on the tanker for what Washington said was involvement in Iranian oil trading when it was called the Adiza. Venezuela has had to deeply discount its crude to its main buyer, China, because of growing competition with sanctioned oil from Russia and Iran. So what's going on? We have a major military buildup in and around Venezuela. We've got the CIA is active. So do we support this? Do we not support this? If this were some regime change war in the Middle East, I don't think anybody on the right seriously would support that. I think we've had enough of that. However, it's a little bit different strategy. One, you've got Donald Trump leading this. Trump has more grace when it comes to foreign policy because he's been better at it than any president in my lifetime. Two, this is our hemisphere. And the U.S. has dominated the Western Hemisphere for over 200 years. We have the Monroe Doctrine to say that foreign powers can't interfere in the Western Hemisphere. So if some of our geopolitical adversaries are interfering, we're gonna pay attention. Furthermore, this is what we always do. I just looked up just a brief little history of U.S. interventions in Latin America, going back to 1910, 1915. We have intervened, led coups, supported oustings of leaders in Nicaragua, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, Bolivia, Brazil, Dominican Republic again, Chile, Uruguay, Argentina, El Salvador, Grenada, Nicaragua again, Panama, Haiti, is that Haiti again? Yeah, Venezuela and Honduras. So maybe we're going to add Venezuela again to that list. What is the takeaway for all of us? Well, the takeaway is the U.S. has decided Maduro has to go, and they can do it the easy way or the hard way. And they're just incrementally ramping up the pressure on Maduro. They start zapping his drug boats. Then they have built up a major military presence around there. Then reportedly the White House calls and says, hey, man, you got to go. We'll let you go now if you leave peacefully, but otherwise it's going to get tough. Then we intercept their oil tanker. Venezuela can't survive 5 seconds if we seriously interrupt their oil exporting. So we've just decided he's going to go. Is this just? You know, there are principles. We talked about this in the war in Ukraine. We talked about this in the war in Gaza and Israel. Is this just? Is there a good cause for the United States to go to war in Venezuela? Hold on one second. Go to balanceofnature.com. Between juggling work and travel, all the kid chaos, finding time to get a variety of whole foods can feel nearly impossible, can't it? Well, that is where our sponsor, Balance of Nature's whole health system, has been a game changer. Their convenient blend of fruits and vegetables in easy-to-take capsules means that you can ensure you're getting all essential nutrients, even on those hectic mornings. It is great, especially, I travel a lot. It's really nice. I'm not always eating the healthiest on the road. It is an effortless way to fill in the nutritional gaps when life gets too busy for meal planning and prep work. Balance of Nature's whole health system supplements are incredibly versatile, easy to work into your daily routine. The fiber and spice supplement blends smoothly into your favorite drinks, adding a warm aromatic depth from its spice blend. If you prefer, you can even open up the fruits and veggies capsules and mix the powder directly into a smoothie or sprinkle it over your meals. It's absolutely fabulous. New and existing customers can get 50% off the whole health system for life with this limited time offer. I absolutely love this. Balance of Nature is popular, not just with me, not just in the Knowles household, but at the whole Daily Wire. Right now, go to balanceofnature.com to claim this offer. Is this just? Is there a good cause for the United States to go to war in Venezuela? It's pretty dubious. It's a little sketchy. But to me, the deeper question is not, is this war just? The question is this war? And to my mind, it's not really war. In my mind, it's closer to politics than war. Was it Bismarck who said that war is the extension of politics by other means? This to me seems more like politics. I mean, look, we do this all the time. Nicaragua, Haiti, DR, Guatemala, Bolivia, Brazil, DR. It's not like we're going to send in the Marines or something. We're going to occupy Venezuela and make it safe for democracy. Probably, if I were a gambling man, what I would say is the way that we would oust Maduro in Venezuela is the same way we've ousted unsympathetic leaders throughout our history with Venezuela, with Latin America. It's probably a little bit closer to politics. But in order for that to make sense, you have to recognize that America is closer to an empire than a nation state. We're the dominant global hegemon. We're not a yeoman republic. And for that to make sense, you have to recognize that when President Trump says America first, he's not talking about isolation. He's never been talking about isolation. He's not some arch libertarian. That has never been him. When he talks about America first, he talks about buying Greenland from Denmark. He talks about invading Canada because he doesn't like the cut of their jibs on their mooses. He does, when he's talking about America first, he's talking about pushing people around to our adversaries and driving hard deals and making our allies pony up and get in line. And he's talking about a strongman kind of America first. We're going to prioritize our interests everywhere, not just within the confines of our borders. Will the right back him on this? I think they're going to be a little bit confused because what happens in politics is you have facts on the ground that reflect to some degree ideas that get concentrated into slogans. No war for oil would be an example of one during the Bush years in Iraq. They get turned into slogans, and then we adopt the slogans and we chant them, and then we get hoisted on the petard of our slogans because the slogans can never comprehend the totality of the political reality. So a good example of this is 5-10 years ago, the right decided we were going to embrace free speech in an absolute sense. Free speech absolutism was a left-wing issue in the 1960s, and it was BS even then, because it was just a bunch of leftist terrorists in some cases and leftist activists who said, we need total free speech. And on this supposedly liberal principle, they destroyed the old conservative norms. Then they got power, and they implemented their own left-wing norms. They didn't really believe it. And then because we wanted to crack the left-wing norms and the PC culture, woke culture, we came in, we said, no, we're the free speech absolutists. But then we get hoisted on that petard too, because every society needs standards. Well, it's the same thing here. Say no more war. What does it mean, no more war? No more war. There's not going to be no more war this side of the second coming. There are going to be wars. Wars are a fact of life. No more war. There are good reasons for wars in some cases. There are bad reasons for wars too. So you got to be more specific. It's not that you want no more war. You say, why are we going to war? The big reason I think that a lot of people on the right adopted the no more war slogan is because you had these liberal globalist wars to neocon wars to spread Madisonian democracy throughout the world and usher in the end of history. That's ridiculous. That was never a good idea. Doesn't mean we don't support any kind of war. Certainly doesn't mean that Trump doesn't support any kind of war. So I can see some confusion. I think this would be another issue where I think the right will become divided. The unity that we had has been cracked because of the forceful removal of certain figures, because of the eventual removal of Donald Trump, who is looking ahead at the end of his second term, and because of changing political circumstances. Because we're going to be trying to apply the logic of 20 years in Afghanistan to interventions in Latin America, which is as American as apple pie. Hope you like that clip. Now, if you want to see more, ring the bell, subscribe. We'll see you next time.